Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tsitsi Audrey, and welcome to You Can Rise Again. So, today I am so happy to bring you yet another exciting episode where I'm going to talk to a great young man who is doing great things in Zimbabwe right now. He's a husband, he's a father, he's an entrepreneur, he's a mindpreneur, and he's an African youth advocate. So, he wears a lot of hats. So, I'm so excited to be talking to him today. So, come join me as I sit with Mr. Jermaine James Chapfiwa. So, hello, Mr. Chapfiwa. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you, Titi?
I'm good. I'm really good. It's good to see you after so many years.
Yes, very true. It's
Yeah.
been a very long time.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to talk to you today, and
Hmm.
just to find out more about Mr. Chapfiwa, what's going on in your life, business, and how is that going, that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
so my first question to you, Jermaine, will be, who is Jermaine? Who is Jermaine? Where were you born? And where did you grow up? Things like that.
Oh, yeah. So I was born in Zhishavani.
Okay. Hmm.
Yes. That's where I was born. I was raised there for quite a long time.
Hmm.
Before we moved to Bulawayo and Harare, respectively.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I am a child of Jeffrey and Rachel.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they're now late.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think I'm a accumulation of both identities. Mostly, I'll say my father. I look like my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad did teach me certain things. Growing up, he exposed me to, the best education.
Mhm.
He also exposed me to the corporate side of things, where when you'll be sitting on the national executive, the national boards, the NECs for
Mhm.
the steel industry, for the mining industry, to the Chamber of Mines, I
Mhm.
would sometimes sit in there and just observe
Wow.
what would be going on there.
Okay.
So I speak very good Vitori and Chikaranga because of that. People normally think that maybe some people think that I can only speak English. But from my interactions with people, some people have even asked me to Jermaine, can you actually eat sadza?
Yes.
Are you somebody who can actually say that you eat sadza? And I said yes. I think that's my favorite meal. Yeah.
Okay.
So my my that's my background. That's where I grew up in the mines.
Mhm.
Education wise, I wasn't always the best you know book person. I think I was more practical.
Yeah.
In Rishavane growing up, we used to play in the mountains. We used to stay. Yeah. So my background we used to play in the mountains in Rishavane. I used to stay in Chinda Heights. I've got a lot of friends that I grew up with. So we'd play in the mountains. Then we didn't have all these techie things.
Yeah.
So we actually went out there and you'd bump into snakes here and there, baboons, things that if I was to tell my children now, they would
Yeah.
say, no, Dad, you're lying.
Yeah.
What kind of place is that?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, that's my basic background. I went to firstly Shabani Primary School.
Mhm.
Then I went to Whitestone.
Mhm.
From Whitestone, I went to Falcon College.
Mhm.
Then from Falcon College, I went to Heritage in Harare because my family was moving around. So I think my dad didn't want me to be too far away from him when we moved to Harare.
Mhm.
Then we moved back to Bulawayo. Um, Just because I had walked on the lawn as a junior at Falcon, I said to my dad, I can't go back there because the same seniors that saw me walking on the lawn
Yeah.
would actually have a problem with me. So I then ended up going to CBC, which is Christian Brothers College.
Mhm.
At CBC, I did the normal O levels that anybody else would do.
Mm-hmm.
Then I then specialized in three for my A levels, which was I did economics, I did computer science,
Mm-hmm.
and I did geography.
Okay. Okay.
Taking that my dad is coming from a mining background as well. So I think that exposure is the one that got me to pick that.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I liked ICT.
Okay.
So I then furthered specialization in ICT at the point, um, like I said, I don't think, in life, it's not about being the A star student because
Yeah.
I know a lot of A star students that have not made it in life in
Mm-hmm.
terms of even their own personal socialization and, life skills, soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
I was an average student. So when I was done um, doing my A level, I was lucky enough that during the time I was at CBC, I also engaged the University of the NAST
Mm-hmm.
into doing a program called Cisco, which is an internationally acclaimed program that allows you to set up networks using specified high value devices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, for that time when I did it, it wasn't yet quite recognized in Zimbabwe. So when I then finished with my A levels, that's when my father passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, during that time, they couldn't give us any of their benefits, like the benefits for my dad for his passing away, the death benefits and what have you. So I actually had to leave and immediately get into the corporate space.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough before he passed, he had actually paid for 1 year in varsity in Canada for me. So I went to varsity for a year. Then I had to drop out because obviously they didn't pay the death benefits. So there was no money coming in for me to continue. So I came back. Then I then utilized the qualification that I got in high school, which was my Cisco. I then went to South Africa, did my SAQA, which is my certification of that just guides of my skill level and how much I should be paid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I started working. Worked there for about a year. Then a year down the line, because I was very young,
Mm-hmm.
um, I couldn't get a work permit.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they would say is if you're getting a 4 year work permit, you need an endorsement from the company you're working for, of which you can imagine, the questions they'll be getting asked as somebody who's working for someone, why are you hiring a Zimbabwean? This and that. So I ended up just letting that go. I came back home. I was at home for about, I think, a good 3 to 4 months before I actually started doing anything.
Okay.
My mom would try and get me like jobs where like I'll be fixing computers, this and that. But I was still trying to find myself
Yeah.
because, like I said, the Cisco qualification that I had was not popular here. And you'd have to be somebody with a lot of experience because the only way you'd enter into a formal employment using it was either into an internet service provider
Mm-hmm.
or not only an internet service provider, you're looking at banks
Mm-hmm.
because they use those kind of routers to encrypt information and manage packets,
Mm-hmm.
which is the information transmitted between devices.
Mm-hmm.
So what then happened is like my mom then spoke to Pastor Maureen B. Shana from Word of Life
Mm-hmm.
and said, my son needs something to do.
Yeah.
So she called me in. The first assignment she gave me was she said she wanted a website.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I had never made a website.
Wow.
I hadn't like I think the basic websites that we made was in high school when we used Microsoft front page.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I then began to look at how can I make a website something attractive because they did show me the benchmark of what they were expecting and in my head I was like, oh my gosh. So I had my friend who is called, not who was, he's still alive,
Yeah.
Alexandra Mdawan.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandra then introduced me to it's not really a software, but it's a free web builder
Mm-hmm.
called Joomla.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I started experimenting with that. And, as I went on and I got to understand. As I went on and was exposed in the church also,
Mm-hmm.
I was taught graphics because obviously with websites, it's not about the technical side. It has to look good as well. And from that point, that's what I did. One of the key pivotal points or in my life that I can say was very important for me was the fact that during this time, which was very difficult since my dad had passed away, was I always made sure I went to church. And there was a certain pastor. His name is Busisa Moyo. He's the managing director of United Refineries.
Yeah.
He was a pastor, so all of his sermons had something to do with business in it. So as I was in church, I was actually learning, you know, stuff about business principles, being able to also read between the lines and, evaluate it for myself and see how best, certain things are and, how best practices should be, how you should present yourself.
Yeah.
And also looking at my background from the schools that I went to, it
Yeah.
actually, came together quite well.
Yeah.
Then I was given the opportunity to do work for Women Unlimited, which is their women empowerment program at the church,
Yeah.
which is run by Pastor Maureen Bishana. And through that, that's where I then got, I wouldn't say that I can categorize myself as the best designer unless and if I can say that she actually taught me, the finer detail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like certain things, that I'll design, you'll be able to see, oh, that's Jermaine.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that from the church. And I've always believed that I'm somebody. As much as I had my own parents, I was raised by many parents. They say it takes a village to
Exactly.
raise a child.
Yeah.
So I had parents in them, and they would guide me to say, oh yeah, Jermaine's dad is not there, and let's provide him with the best possible space to be in. Then it came the time when certain things were now changing, and then I had to leave the church. Um, so my life has been, the center stage person for me. I think actually not even. I think it's God.
Yes.
He has allowed me to move from one step to the other. Then from there, I wasn't earning much, so I couldn't even afford to buy myself a laptop.
Yeah.
So there was a lady who used to be one of my mom's helpers, like when I was born. And also she was there when I was born. She was there when my brother was born. She just said to me, "Hi, Jermaine, I haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, how's your dad? You know, how's your dad?" I said, "No, my dad passed away." She she broke down in tears. Then she's like, "You know what, Jermaine? As much as I was your mom's helper, I've now got a cleaning company in Rome, in Italy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And what do you want for your birthday?"
Mm-hmm.
And then just guess what I said I wanted.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. So I then said, no, I really would love a laptop. That laptop took about a year to come because I was avoiding sending it with FedEx and DHL because I didn't have the duty money. So we had to wait for somebody who was coming back,
okay.
to Zimbabwe. So then they brought my laptop after about a year and at the right time, mind you.
Yeah.
Then I started doing like some private consultations. I started branding magazines for people and stuff. So that content then reached the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce, which then called me to say, okay, can we talk through a good friend of mine called Velile. But then at that time, we were not friends. I didn't know him. But maybe because he went to Plumtree and I went to Falcon, there was always that rivalry. But at the same time, we could resonate with each other.
Yeah.
So then what then happened was they were hosting their awards for 2013. The awards were being hosted at Hotel St. Patrick's. It was the first quarter of the year, which is around April, May, June, first to second quarter. So then I did some designs and they were like, wow, wow. And, this is what I benefited from the church, to have a good eye for things. I did their programs, the adverts, the certificates. Then they showed me the certificates they'd been working with. I was like, nah, this is not going to work. So their events used to, like, just to get the story short, the events were getting about 100 to 150 people. On the night of the event that I branded, they got 700 people.
Wow.
And there were even concurrent other award shows that were running, like the Zimbabwe Institute of Management. People left those awards to come to our awards.
Wow.
So I then said, "Oh, okay, nah, no, let me use that, as my point." And
Yeah.
then from there, when the executive board members and the corporate community in Bulawayo had seen, oh, this guy is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
I think over a space of a month, I got 30 corporate clients.
Wow.
Some were asking for me to rebrand their whole companies. Some were coming for, like the basic services and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, I could make a living, just to help my mom, because my mom was a civil servant. And
Mm-hmm.
at the time, things were not too clear where they were going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I started my company. I registered it the same August in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
but I was obviously freelancing from about when I came back
Mm-hmm.
from Canada from 2011.
Okay.
And I already knew the company. I wanted the name
Mm-hmm.
from 2011. So even now, when you check when I say it was established, it was actually established in 2011, not 2013.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I then got recognition from national office, the National Chamber office,
Yeah.
where I then began to brand national initiatives.
Mm-hmm.
Then they gave me the national website, the regional website to manage and do my digital marketing and drive traffic
Mm-hmm.
to it. And the person who actually introduced me to digital marketing when I was still at the church was, if you know, a guy by the name of Mike Tashaya.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's from the UK. So he came and he did a program when digital marketing was not even something to write home about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, kudos to him and thanks to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I say the center stage belongs to God, not me.
Amen.
Uh, yeah. So at the end of it all,
Mm-hmm.
I then started my company.
Okay.
Started off with my bag, the laptop I got as a birthday present, and I walk in town. You know, um, I would never be that proud person to say this and that because looking from the background I came from and where I was,
Yeah.
and also the fact that the mine where my dad
Mm-hmm.
was working and also had shares was not cooperating, and they were trying to bully my mom to an
Mm-hmm.
extent where the case is still in the high court. It's not yet done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's not yet done, but at the same time, like, look, my mom died fighting,
Yeah.
to secure our future for her sons, and I
Yeah.
just said to myself, no, I think let me use the gift that God gave me, even if it might not be complete like other kids
Mm-hmm.
who might have had the opportunity to go out there and study and come back.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point on, I then made it a point to say I would work Sunday to Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what would happen would be as I was starting my company, I would go to church in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
come back by midday, eat my lunch, then start preparing for Monday,
Mm-hmm.
which could be work that needs to be done. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm working. I'm even working during the week at maybe until around 11, 12. Go to bed. I was still young. I could afford to, rev the engine a little bit without going to hospital, and things like that, which I feel sometimes
Mm-hmm.
as you get older,
Yeah.
yeah, you learn new things, new limits to say, no, this you can't do anymore. Um, so as the years went by, we expanded our footprint. Then obviously through exposure to the Chamber of Commerce, through also them as my corporate clients, they introduced me to clients in England,
Yeah.
clients in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time we still have Pay Now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would receive my payments from that side through Pay Now,
Yeah.
or there was a company called Direct Pay Online, which is now not operating in Zimbabwe.
Mm-hmm.
I would receive my payments through them.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so I made an effort that almost once every year I'll go somewhere
Mm-hmm.
very far.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere where people are waking up while you're going to bed
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
in that country, so that I learn how they did e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
I learn how their ecosystem, because exposure was very important for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was extremely important. And also it was a sign to show, look, Jermaine, you're going in the right direction. If you can afford to take yourself to the Philippines
Yeah.
and see how they do their thing and, get to experience different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Then during that process, because of what happened to my family when my dad passed away, I decided to become a youth advocate,
Yeah. Yeah.
giving young people a voice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I joined the Organization of African Youth.
Mm-hmm.
This was voluntary. We're
Mm-hmm.
not, I'm right now, I'm the first vice president for Africa in the
Okay.
Youth Executive Committee, but we're still not, we don't receive any payments whatsoever. Like it's not a salary job.
Yeah.
It's something that is my passion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even at my workplace, actually everyone is a youth.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone is young, so that I empower them. They also learn from me. The doors I've opened, they can also access
Mm-hmm.
and get to you know somewhat indirectly develop some very brilliant young people
Yeah.
through that. So I became that, on the basis of saying I really want to also contribute to the direction of my country, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
And besides the direction of my country, I never wanted to do it under a political
Mm-hmm.
footing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I didn't want to go about it. I wanted to go about it from a factual position
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
where you will be respected not because of politics, but because of what you're actually doing and saying. So I chose to go that direction. I started off as the organizing secretary
Mm-hmm.
for Zim.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved on to the secretary for entrepreneurship and agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, I then moved to secretary general
Mm-hmm.
for Zim. Then I then moved to secretary general for the continental branch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then from Secretary General, I stopped for a bit, for about 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
especially this was during the stint of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we weren't able to do any programs at the time. Um, and I then, after that, came on as first vice president
Okay.
of the
Okay.
Organization of African Youth, where we have leaders spanning the whole continent, different religions, and what have you. So my position there for the time I've had actually taught me things like diplomacy, how you deal with different religion, conflict resolution, youth advocacy, at a legal perspective as well, not from marching in the street
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, where I've always emphasized I have to do everything that I do in a and it allowed me to get a good footing and understanding of
Yeah.
how Africa is, and also during the crises like Ebola, I was in the same committee as the president of Liberia then,
Yeah.
and would get updates, when his workers would get Ebola and then they run away because they were scared that they'll die, because obviously there was a lot of stigmatization,
Yeah.
and what have you. So I did that then. I did that for a bit. Then I kind of focused on that for a while. And then I then joined the Customer Experience Association of Zimbabwe, where I became a board member.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the founding board members when it came to Matabeleland,
Mm-hmm.
and the custodian of CXAZ currently in Matabeleland. I was a board member, but now I think I've served my time. So I'm just there as an advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year, and this was very, very odd. On my dad's birthday, that's when I won one of the most coveted awards
Wow.
that I'd ever wanted in my whole life on the same day as my dad's birthday, which was very awkward,
Oh,
to think about it.
okay.
And I received the award with my wife. This was last year. And then immediately after, that's when I was nominated to be a board executive at the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce,
Okay. Okay.
um, which I am currently now serving out. This is my first term,
Mm-hmm.
but we vote every year.
Okay.
So hopefully this year I'll make it for another term.
Okay.
And then I'm also a Zimtrade Tools of Trade trainer.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm specializing in artificial intelligence. I
Okay.
have a master in cybersecurity. I've got a master in digital marketing, a master in web development. And then due to my position at Zimtrade, I've also got certifications in trade,
Mhm.
in international trade and arms regulation, in
Mhm.
money laundering.
Mhm.
Not to say we do money laundering, like so that you are able to see who's stealing, who's not doing things the ethical way. I've also got certification in trade financing.
Mhm.
I've got certification in trade insurance as well.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All right. So, because I'm
Yeah.
mindful of our time, Jermaine, because I've got a few things that I need to ask you. So, I mean, I know you mentioned that your parents have now passed away. So, when you
Yeah.
look back, what is it that you feel like your parents have taught you as a person, as a man? What lessons have you learned from your parents?
Oh yeah. So for my parents, I can safely say because I grew up in a home where there was a father and a mother.
Mhm.
Um, it taught me to value marriage. That's first and foremost.
Mhm.
I am in my second marriage.
Mhm.
I've had one before.
Yeah.
I know you're aware.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah, but what they taught me is never give up on real love. Yes, you can make mistakes. You're young. You can't marry somebody and expect that they will stick around forever. I think the best person you can be accountable is yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I never lost the hope of marriage. Yes, at times it seemed apparently so,
Mhm.
but I was just waiting and praying and saying, let me meet
Mhm.
somebody who would appreciate me for who I am and where I'm going in my life, knowing where I'm coming from
Mhm.
and where I would want to go and, the sort of family that I would want. So I would say together, that's what they gave me.
Mhm.
Then separately, my dad,
Mhm.
he taught me how to be a gentle giant. My dad was a very big man.
Yeah.
He also commanded a lot of respect and not only in the corporate space, but if you saw him walking, you'd leave a path for him to walk by you
Mhm.
because he played rugby. He acted in the movie Cry Freedom with Denzel.
I
Yeah, there's a scene, the rugby scene.
good. I loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So the rugby scene, my dad was there with Denzel because it was done in Manicaland.
Mhm.
And then yeah, he taught me to be gentle, always care for other people. Never be too selfish that you lose your own identity and you become one of those people who cannot serve
Mhm.
your community. Always be well dressed, always be well spoken,
Yeah.
and he always encouraged me, when I was still alive, and he provided me that shoulder to lean on.
Yeah.
And at work they would actually say, when I was now older, they would actually say that um when they'll see me walking in the corridors by his office, they'll be like, to my dad, your brother was walking in the corridors. So even when before he passed away, she said, no, I take you as a son, but you're more of my brother because you're going to actually take forward whatever name
Yeah.
that the family has.
Yeah.
And then for my mom taught me resilience.
Mhm.
My mom was not an easy character. She was one of those strict parents.
Yeah.
She was extremely strict, and besides being extremely strict, she she taught me. She was an English teacher, English literature, history teacher. She did
Mhm.
sociology and psychology. So at home, that's what we would mainly be getting taught. If you can't speak proper English or if you can't write an essay, you know how our parents would discipline us. So she was a disciplinarian. So she taught me probably what I would want in a wife,
Mhm. Mhm.
and also, what it means to be a wife, because
Yeah.
like I would know, like when I would go to school and I was at Falcon, my dad would handle the fees, he
Mhm.
would handle, and then she would do my tack
Mhm.
and my uniform.
Yeah.
So there was never what is mine is mine and what is yours is ours
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean? So it was always a cooperation, building together. I think that's one thing that they both taught me
Mm-hmm.
how to do. And also like just conditioning me to be the man that I am today.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, having that spirit of resilience and, knowing that as much as, things might not go your way, they will
Yeah.
go your way someday, but
Yeah.
just keep,
You have to keep
every day is a new day. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine. So, I mean, what is it that you can tell someone out there, yeah, some young people that are trying
Mhm.
to lift themselves up, especially, in the country right now, maybe when things are not yet in place, or maybe the systems are not quite functioning well. What advice do you have for the young people out there that are, that want to be somebody in life?
Okay. First and foremost, right now, young people are at a very opportune time
Mhm,
to become economically viable.
mhm,
I feel the statutory instruments and all policies that the current president is putting in place is actually gearing them up for a stable economy.
mhm.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Hello?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
you're back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's actually gearing them up for a stable economy and for an economy that we've never had as a country. Because you have to understand, immediately after our parents who were in the war, liberation, and this and that, we came into a new space
Yeah.
where we knew peace, but probably for them, they didn't know what normal was based on where they were coming from. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this is actually the phase where we are as a country is a phase of rehabilitation
Yeah. Yeah.
of what was deemed normal, which was not, into something that is globally accepted
Mm-hmm.
as normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they should not give up. They should not linger in the hate of what happened in their previous within their parents' past,
Mm-hmm.
for example, because they were not there. I believe fight for things that you actually got affected by, not for you can't be spending your whole life fighting other wars,
Yeah, exactly.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, other people's wars. So at the end of the day, I just say they must keep on being who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's the issue of Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
It's a global issue how they deal with jobs and this and that, and the way they're made to look like a confused
Yeah.
generation. But really and truly, it's not about confusion. It's about sitting down and analyzing how best they fit in to
Yeah.
the current puzzle. What task can you give them?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they might not want to be a farm foreman. Maybe they want to be, a software engineer testing Android devices, things like that, where they'll just be sitting looking at a screen. So I think at the end of the day, it's just about sitting down and finding out.
Mm-hmm.
Because as human beings, we are also, I would say, we are a scientific experiment.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you are born, you are not aware of your end result.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are only two
Mm-hmm.
end results that are definite, which is being born and dying. But the rest in between there,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually not aware. So it's actually a social experiment. It's actually a story.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the reason why I actually agreed to do the podcast, because I think, you know, I'm a social experiment. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not yet complete,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
when I am, there'll be a book that starts in chapter one and ends in chapter whatever. Yeah.
Good. That's good. So, what is your favorite saying that has kept you going all your life?
Favorite saying?
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll say my favorite saying
Mm-hmm.
is actually not my own.
Okay. Yeah.
It
That's
was my mother.
yeah.
It was my mother's favorite saying,
Yeah.
which is Jesu mufudzi wangu.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah,
Amen. Yeah.
that is my favorite saying.
Mm.
I can't say, if you're a parent and you don't impart anything onto your child, you'd have really failed, I think. And I think, from their perspective, from her perspective especially,
Mm-hmm.
since I got to spend a lot of time with her after my dad passed away,
Mm-hmm.
she would always say, God is the father of the fatherless. So don't feel like you don't have a father. Don't feel that there's no one who's in your corner.
Yeah.
Just know that God is actually there for you, even when you're sleeping, and every time when you wake up, God is there for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. That's really
Mm.
powerful. That's really powerful. So what project are you working on at the moment, Jermaine, so that people know, what's happening with you, get in touch with you?
Okay. So at the present moment, well, I'm primarily known through my company, Instant Solutions and Consultancy, where we provide branding and technology solutions,
Mhm,
which comes from hardware all the way up to software development, third-party licensing, AI.
mhm,
Um, we also do exhibition stand branding, ZITF,
mhm.
at the ZITF, at the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, and what have you.
Yeah.
We've recently signed an MOU with Red Sphere Finance, which is part of CBZ Group,
Okay.
to finance these things.
Mm,
Anything that you might need, so long as you are rated as somebody who can work with them.
mhm,
And the interest rates are very, very low. They're very encouraging
mhm,
because for personal, which is like your personal microfinance loans for acquisition of assets, you're looking at about 5% a month,
mhm.
whilst others are at 14, 20%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also, if the project is massive, it can then be escalated to the actual bank,
Okay.
which then gives you an annual interest rate that you pay, which is based on your risk level.
Okay.
Another thing that I am currently doing, or that I am,
Mhm.
is I have been recently selected as the chairperson for the International Trade Council,
Okay.
managing the territory of Zimbabwe.
Mhm, mhm.
So what we have is basically we've got a tool or a trade system that uses AI that's able to get you to be competitive in trade. You know where to sell, who to sell to, how much they're buying from other countries,
Yeah.
and you're able to somewhat find a way to fit yourself in the gap.
Mhm.
So one of the things that I'm currently doing is I'm a trade consultant,
Okay.
or a tools of trade consultant, as well as I am in the structures of the International Trade Council.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
as the country representative
that
of
was
Zimbabwe,
yeah.
which I have not yet announced because this is a development from last week.
So you
So
should
people are yet to see me putting it on LinkedIn. Then I think that
be
would actually, yeah, that would then get people understanding. But yeah, I just thought to tell you first. You're the first one to hear it besides my wife. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's fine, Jermaine. So I think a lot of young people are going to be really interested in this. So where can they find you? Any social media? Are you on social media? Where can people find you or your company? Where can they reach you?
So basically, well, I'm a very busy person, like you said.
Mhm.
But I think when it comes to myself, I believe in LinkedIn. When it comes to professional business, conversations. If they search me on LinkedIn, Jermaine James Chapfiwa,
Mhm.
yeah, we can chat in the inbox and do our
Mhm.
brainstorming
Yeah.
there, or you see how viable what they would really want.
Mhm.
Or they might not even need to look for me because I'm out there. I might meet them at a training. I might meet them,
Yeah. Yeah.
at whatever events. But yeah, I'm there for young people. I want them to be economically viable.
Yeah.
I also want them to take or to participate in, these, trade initiatives, and, be, part of the Zimbabwe that we want to see,
Yes.
and to support, obviously, the policies that are currently coming into place in their favor,
Mhm. Mhm.
mind you, where we advocate for them at the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce.
Amen.
Yeah, the time to be a hustler is dying. Now everyone is either you're going to be an employer or an employee.
Yes.
Full stop. So if you want to gear yourself up to be an employer, they must now start at that very young age to,
Mhm.
be part of things like the Zimbabwe National Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
and all these other trade bodies, and get to know what's going on out there.
Definitely.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Jermaine. This was really interesting. And I think a lot of young people are going to be interested in everything that you have spoken about. So I thank you so much for making time to speak with me today. I know you are
Mhm.
a man, and I know that, you said if you can't catch me now, then you might not catch me. So I thank you
Yeah.
for making time to have this conversation with me. So I wish you all the best in everything that you are going to be doing from now going forward. And may the
Mhm.
Lord continue to be with you. Mwari arambe ari mufudzi wako.
Yes, and you will always forever be that.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we've got for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for future content and future episodes. And you can also catch us on Facebook or Instagram at You Can Rise Again. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, you can rise again. Until the next time, bye.